Hey guys, what's going on? So first of all, just want to say thanks for the 4,000 subscribers. It may not say 4,000 right now because it takes a little while for the subscriber count to update in the button that you can see below this video. But on my dashboard they are there, so really cool to reach another milestone. And also something of interest is that this will be my 200th video. So again, thanks for helping me reach this milestone, and without further ado, we're going to get on to the point of this video, which is explaining all of the attributes. I have been getting a lot of questions about different attributes, what they mean, so I'm going to go through the entire list and explain them all. We're going to skip the new talisman attributes. We're going to get into that maybe in a different episode, but I think I actually covered that in my talisman video, so I'm not going to go over those. Health, mana, and damage, I think everyone knows. Health is the amount of HP you have. When you lose all of it, you die. Mana is the stuff you use your skills. When you don't have mana anymore, you can't use skills anymore. And damage, naturally, is the damage you're dealing. So glad we got those out of the way. Hit rate and dodge rate. These are complete opposites of each other. I'm not sure if anyone still thinks that hit rate is the rate at which you hit, so if you have higher hit rate, you'll attack faster, but that's not the case. Hit rate just means the rate at which you'll hit your opponent, and depending on your opponent's dodge, you may miss. So if we take a look at my hit rate and dodge rate, I would hit myself 97% of the time, since I have 3% more dodge than the hit rate plus its base stat. So the base hit rate is 100%. For every percent of dodge you have over hit rate minus the 100 base, you will have a higher chance to miss. I believe I also explained this in a different video, but just in case, gonna compact it down all into one video. Crit rate is the rate at which you will land a critical hit, which is in direct opposition to crit resist. So this is like hit rate and dodge rate, just that it has to do with crit rate. So I would never not land a crit on myself because I only have 48% crit resist. If I had, say, 66% crit resist, then I would only land a crit 90% of the time. So just keep in mind, crit rate and crit resist go together. They're like two ends of the coin, if you know what I mean. It's the same with crit damage and crit reduction, but crit reduction always works in this case. So basically doing a crit to myself, since I have 68% crit reduction, I would only be doing around 170 or so % crit damage to myself, because crit reduction, it just takes that percentage off of crit damage. So if I had 235% crit reduction, my crits, well, I believe there's a 50% base on crit damage, so no matter how high your crit reduction is, you'll still be getting hit with 50% more damage when they land a critical on you. Damage reduction is basically the direct opposition of damage, I would say. The more you have, the less damage you'll take, of course, and that gets chucked off the opponent's damage. Net damage is something that has been asked a lot about in videos over the course of my videos, and I'll try and explain that the best I can. I believe net damage is basically... No, actually, I would say net damage is the direct opposition of damage reduction. So the more net damage you have, the less their damage reduction will work. It could also be that... And this is, I believe, the most accepted theory, is that net damage is basically guaranteed damage, so that 12.5 thousand net damage I'll have simply goes on top at the end of all the algorithms of the damage that I'm dealing. So it's like solid, just chuck that on to the final damage sort of number. I don't think that's exactly how it works, because like I was saying in my last video, as a very weak character, I wasn't even doing that 10,000 net damage that comes with a costume to like Relic Lord and stuff. So there could be some other things at play, but again, that is the gist of it. HP transfer is the amount of HP you get back when attacking with your normal attack an opponent. I believe this is a set number, so 2240, and I believe this only comes from having wings. MP transfer is basically the same. Since it says transfer, I'm not totally sure if that chunk is taken away from their mana, although I kinda highly doubt it, because if I really had 253 transfer, then I could just normal attack them like 15 times and they wouldn't have mana anymore. But I don't believe that's the case. I believe you just get 253 for each normal attack you're doing to an opponent. Siphon is also one that is asked quite a lot about, and Siphon is the percent of damage your normal attack does you will get back in HP. This only is with normal attacks, not with skills, not with Boric smashes, or anything like that, just your normal attack. Damage deflect is pretty self-explanatory. The more you have, so say someone does 100,000 damage to you with whatever, it can be a skill, it doesn't need to be a normal attack for this one, they can attack you with a Boric smash, and let's say they do 100,000 damage to you. If you have 10% damage deflect, you will give them back 10,000 of that damage. So damage reduction is the same as the other damage reduction, except this is in percent based form. So basically you'll be taking 27% less damage all around. And damage boost is kind of the counter to that. It is a lot harder to get damage boost, obviously. I believe you can only get that from, I think once you get 70 total titles, you get 10% damage boost, and I believe the rest comes from Vermilion Bird Demigod and your mount when it gets to higher levels. And damage boost, this attribute, is practically a buff that is always active, but it doesn't actually add to your damage numbers. So when you get like a 10% damage boost, you won't get that 10% added on to the damage down there, you see. It's just like a constant buff. You know, Mephisto gives a 100% damage boost, and I constantly have a 2% damage boost. Fire, freezing, and electric damage, I don't think I really need to explain. This is the damage you are doing with those elements. If you're a gunslinger, then you kind of have to care about all three, but with every other character it just depends on your weapon. I have a champion weapon, so naturally my electric damage is going to be much higher than fire or freeze damage, and depending on which weapon you have, you should be focusing on getting that damage up. That's the element of damage you're going to be doing. And of course, fire, freeze, and electric rate are the rate at which you trigger the special effect of your weapon. For fire, it's the damage over time wall of flame. Freezing is freezing, and electric is a chain lightning, so where it goes from your pets to the enemy or to enemies in PvE. But there it is, that is all of the attributes. If you have any more questions, if I didn't explain something good enough, drop it down in the comments below and I will try and go more in depth, but I think I just about covered it. So anyway guys, that is going to be all for today. Again, thanks a lot for helping me reach 4,000 subscribers, giving me the motivation to post this 200th video. Again, if you have any questions or comments or just video suggestions for the future, please drop them down as well in the comments below. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and until next time.